Well, that's a very important investigational line when you've got record put options when the airline stocks were at all-time highs, betting that there would be massive plunges. Now, 2 FBI agents went to jail for some side insider trading. That was never further investigated, but that was a small piece of something larger. We can really find out who was behind it or who was involved and who had insider knowledge if we followed that investigation.
Well, see, this is what, again, I don't know what happened. I'm not alleging anything here, but I sure want to find out how it happened. And so I've told some of the people in the community that, I have a small staff, but I do have a committee that has a good reach. So I want to, I'm going to endeavor to try to gather some information here. And we, now that I'm off the presidential campaign trail, I have time to focus on even more of the issues that you're talking about, Alex.
But you are instigating or you are initiating a investigation or at least trying to gather information for an investigation on suspicious 9/11 trading. I mean, mainstream newspapers had headlines about it being suspicious and, we're going to catch who was involved. I mean, I think that's pretty reasonable for you to be calling for that. I wonder why other members of Congress haven't.
Well, I think, just keep in mind, I mean, we all have things to take care of back home. We have people losing their jobs because of factories shutting down, people losing their health care, their retirement security, losing their homes. And, there's an avalanche of economic bad news that has been visited on a lot of areas in America, and the area that I represent is included in that. So we have to try to take care of those things, and at the same time, take care of some small business, which relates to 9/11 truth, and in particular, these stock options. I want to know about it. You're talking to a person here who happens to be chairman of a subcommittee. I want to know what the answer is. So that's why, I'm talking to you right now to let you know that I have an ongoing interest in it, in gathering the information.
Well, Congressman, I have to say, I respect you because on the issue of the electronic voting machines and election fraud, you've been there since day one. On the issue of government corruption, the Patriot Act, the police state, you've been there from day one, speaking out when it was unpopular. You've been proven right. You were against the war from day one with your only other colleague that was Congressman Ron Paul. And now even Mayor Bloomberg saying it looks like there's election fraud against Barack Obama in districts where he's getting, in areas, precincts getting 0 votes, clear fraud there. So because you are an independent voice, whether somebody's liberal, conservative, libertarian, we've got to support you. You've exposed the weather weapons, the space weapons. You tried to get laws passed on that. When that's declassified, they still laugh at you. So you're a very important person in Congress. So is Ron Paul. And I find it to be no accident that Cynthia McKinney was run out twice. They're going after you. They're going after Ron Paul. He said he's never been in a fight this hard. They're lying about him, spinning. Both Republican and Democratic machines are after him. I know that the big Republican machine is after you. You told me during the break you're facing an incredible battle. Tell us about that battle.
I've got corporate Cleveland is unleashing millions of dollars to try to knock me out of office. Anytime you fight a corporate empire, there's consequences. And my position has always been independent. Alex, I can't be bought and I can't be bossed. And all of these people who try to take this congressional seat in order to enhance their own corporate interests, they're just about protecting the status quo. And it's time that we challenged it, and that's what I've been doing in the Congress, and with the support of the people, I'll continue to do that. But right now, if people want to help in any way, go to Kucinich.us. We need help. I've got millions being poured into this race against me, and I need to make sure that that people know it's happening, and also that I'm going to continue to stand up and speak out. People think that just by trying to knock me out of Congress that they're going to cause me to be quiet so that I'll engage in a kind of self-protection that Washington is famous for. I'm here to protect the public interest. I'm going to keep speaking the truth. I'm going to keep seeking the truth. And as long as people are there to support that, I'll stay in Congress.
Give out the website again.
Yeah, it's Kucinich.us, Kucinich, Kucinich.us. And I need help. If people live in the area who are listening to this, come to our campaign headquarters on 118th and Lorraine. And if you're listening in and you care about kind of having an independent voice in the United States Congress who can stand up for the American people. I'm also can be reached at Kucinich.us, and if you want to help us in any way you can, whether it's morally, spiritually, financially, politically, now's the time to help. The election's on March the 4th. It's coming right down the tracks pretty quickly.
Well, Congressman, let me just make this point again. Even if Republicans and others don't agree with you on some of your social policies, you are one of the few truly independent voices. The other congressmen and women really are bossed around and are controlled, and if they're able to punish you and punish Ron Paul and punish Cynthia McKinney, that then sends a chilling effect throughout Congress. This is very important to keep a few independent voices at least in Congress. How important is that?
Well, that's it. I mean, right now we have a lot of Me Tours and Yes people. They're not bad people, but the problem is that this money that goes into the system causes people to not speak up when they should speak up.
How is it looking for you in the primary? What are your internal polls showing?
I think if my supporters come out, I'll win. But there's an unprecedented amount of money being spent here against me. This isn't by any means a cakewalk. I have to tell you, it's going to, this election is being vigorously contested, and the reason why it's an election at all is because of the amount of money these downtown Cleveland corporate interests are putting in. And, and they don't, they just care about their own bottom line. They don't care much about what's happening in America. They just care about themselves. And I've been standing up for the people and making sure that the public interest is defended, making sure the truth gets out. I can't do it alone. I need help, and that's why I'm letting your listeners know that it would be important to have their help.